and will put the Department of Justice of the United States back in the business of justice. We will double the Civil Rights Division and direct law enforcement to counter this extremism. We will hold social media platforms accountable for the hate infiltrating their platforms, because they have a responsibility to help fight against this threat to our democracy. And if you profit off of hate, if you act as a megaphone for misinformation or cyber warfare, if you don't police your platforms, we are going to hold you accountable as a community.
That speech had a very familiar tone to it. So guys, in a nutshell, it seems like Kamala Harris is going to weaponize the DOJ. Now, of course, she's not saying she is, but that sounds very, very familiar. And it sounds very close to something Hitler did when he first got into office, when he was looking to take over Germany. He had a similar tone to a speech like that. Obviously in German, nonetheless, when she was talking, that is the first person who popped into my head, Hitler. So it seems like she wants to run a Hitler-esque regime, because she also talked about a forced gun buyback program, who I don't really know who's going to jump on board with that, and I don't know what states are going to be like, yeah, we're going to do this because Kamala Harris told us to. All of the things that she's saying she's going to do is not going to work out as well as she thinks it is. Because the problem with it, guys, is that now you got to go to the individual states and have them do a buyback program that they're not going to do. You got states that are just all about their guns and all about their people's rights, and so they're not going to turn around and implement this at all. Kamala Harris, guys, is, as we all know, is not good for this country. Being that she's already in office, she's the vice president, a lot of the things that she's trying to promise us, when she wins, she could be doing now. She could actually be paving the way and making it easier for herself, so if and when she wins, she can get a lot of those implemented. Or she could implement a lot of that now, boosting her presidency or boosting her votes, because look what she did now. But she can't do anything because she hasn't. She had 4 years. She didn't suggest anything to President Biden. Now all of a sudden she's going to step in office and she's going to win our hearts with all of these promises that she could have done. Because if she would have done it leading up to her presidency or her race for presidency, she could have been like, look what I did. But she has nothing to fall back on. And the interesting shit is people will vote for her. People are bringing up the fact that she has nothing. She has done nothing as vice president. When you look at her and you go, well, what did she do as vice president? Hemming and hard. That's all you hear people go, well, she has done nothing. So now she's going to run for president and do all of it? Makes no sense. Still, guys, the weaponization of DOJ is very, very dangerous. And with that, she's going to weaponize the DOJ, and guess who else she's going to weaponize? Now, some people will argue the FBI is already weaponized. Yes, they are, under President Biden. I think she's going to strengthen the FBI and their weaponization. And the DOJ, that means that hand-in-hand relationship is going to wreak havoc in the country. But what they're going to start doing is they're going to start taking people one at a time. They're going to start tackling people one at a time, investigating one at a time, so that it doesn't look like one big giant melee that they're trying to unleash. They're doing it one at a time, so it's a subtle takeover and a subtle takedown of certain people that they want taken down. Now, in her speech, she talked about social media spreading misinformation or helping spread information by letting creators sit there and talk about misinformation. Here's the problem with the whole misinformation line when she was talking about it. According to who? What misinformation is going to be proven that it's misinformation? Because with social media now, whether that's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, somebody on there could sit there and go, oh, that's misinformation, and provide no facts or any rebuttal to it. So when you post a video and they go, well, that's medical misinformation, well, please provide me the proof that it's medical misinformation. They don't. YouTube doesn't, and Instagram doesn't. They don't tell you why it's medical information. They just tell you it is, and then they get rid of your video or take your post down. Kamala Harris is holding these people accountable for that, and they're already doing it. So I don't know how much more she wants them to do. I don't get it. They're already doing it now. There were doctors who lost channels on YouTube because they spoke out against the arm ticket, the Mr. 19 arm ticket, took their videos down, and now those doctors are right because they're seeing all of these medical issues with the Mr. 19 arm ticket. But they're not going to, YouTube is not ready to give them their channel back, even though they were right, even though they were proven right by outside sources. So now, again, Kamala Harris wants social media to do what? Oh, they speak out against her, take their channel down, which I could see them doing. Somebody had said that there were some channels getting demonetized and videos taken down who spoke out against Kamala Harris. Now, I don't know to what degree they spoke out against her. I just heard that rumor. I haven't seen anything yet, but I'm going to definitely test those waters. Because if you speak out against her and they take your channel down, that in itself is a problem. Now, a lot of people say that social media could do what they want. Here's the problem. You are a public platform in the United States of America. Therefore, they're supposed to abide by free speech. And YouTube, Instagram, Facebook had all stated when they started that they were about free speech. Because in this country, guys, you cannot hold a public platform, which YouTube, Facebook, Instagram is. Yes, they're a private company, but they're a public platform allowing people to speak freely. And they've all said this in their doctrine when starting their businesses, that they're about free speech and free expression. But then you turn around and start deleting people's posts and comments and videos because you don't like what they're saying. That is not free speech. And they should abide by the Constitution, but I'm not sure. Now, legally, they don't have to, but if you're a public platform, you are a public platform for the people, you should be. But again, that's a debate that's ongoing. Nonetheless, guys, this is a problem for this lady who wants to weaponize the DOJ. She's going to weaponize the FBI even more, and she's going to she's going to implement her programs like the forced buyback gun bullshit very soon, if she gets into office, because if she gets into office, we're going to see a whole new set of problems I don't think we ever saw before. And the reason why, guys, I think she's going to get in office or she's going to win, because the powers that be need somebody like her in office, because she is going to implement their plan, the higher power plan. Trump isn't. She will. So this is the only reason why I know for deep in my heart that she's going to win the election, because they need her to win, and they're going to take this election not as blatantly as they did last time, but we're definitely going to see it this time around. Anyway, guys, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel.